What if I told you you could do everything right? Great art, social media links, great looking storefront, lots of designs, spectacular graphic design. Scroll on down, more favorites than designs, which is always good. You've got a ton of social media set up and you're still not making any sales. Well, in this video, I've got a few design tips and mostly a few business tips for Abysm Internal, who's a shop owner on Redbubble. 317 designs. They say I was doing okay on Etsy, but then they were suddenly banned. I can relate. And at this point, I don't know if I'm wasting my time on my artwork or if there's anything else I'm missing. Well, let's jump in here. Let me take a look. These designs are spectacular. Now, this is certainly a niche. So we've got gothic, pastel, different types of horror, steampunk. I'm really, really impressed by the level of artwork. So this is going to be a bit of a unique critique on a shop because I'm not actually going to be really critiquing your artwork. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, you need to change the color on this or that. Absolutely not. In fact, your graphic design skills are blowing anything that I normally do out of the water. So I have a couple more business tips or shop tips that I'm hoping can help. The shop is called Abysm Internal. They're based on in Redbubble here in Toronto, Canada. And when I click on these different little icons here, I'm going to click on this little home button and check this out. This actually takes to the actual web page, which looks amazing. There's free shipping to the US, there's bedding sets, there's curtains, there's shower curtains. The actual level of artistic design I think are great. And if you like Gothic, then these are wonderful. You've got a great looking website. And if you're into goth, this is certainly a niche that I think you're doing really well on. I'm just going to go back here to the Redbubble store. Here's just an example of the actual design, which is amazing. Here's the example of the design on a t-shirt. I've got my first piece of advice is when I go into the actual shop on Redbubble, you've got a lot of designs that look great, but the breadth of the designs aren't necessarily great. So I'm just going to show you what I mean. Here we've got gothic, horror, steampunk, skulls, Medusas, octopus, which is great. So if you're looking to expand your type of design without necessarily spending a ton of time and energy building new designs, one thing you can do is you could add text to them. So you could take, for example, a t-shirt and you could have like a funny saying on it as an example. I know that some people, especially if you're like a quote unquote real artist, you may not like that and you may not want to dilute your store that way by having funny sayings or TGIF, things like that. So I totally get if you wouldn't want to do that. But if you're looking for additional ways to supercharge your store, there may be people that like goth, but they also have a sense of humor. Or you may want to try cross niching. You'd have this idea where you'd have a graphic design and then some other piece of text underneath it that may help in that regard. So I'm going to take a sudden right turn here and I'm on Facebook, and this is the Abysm Internal shop on Facebook. When I scroll down, I can see that 259 people follow this. You've got a good link to your store. When I scroll through your posts, I can see that it's all related to your actual product, which is great. You've got shower curtain, you've got bedspreads, you've got Black Friday sale, which is awesome. One thing you may want to think about, every post is about you and about the store, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to get more people interested in your Facebook page, one idea would be to post news related to your niche or the occasional question to your customers. So in other words, what you're trying to do is you're trying to increase the interaction on your Facebook page. So if there was some sort of Gothic news, and you can set up a Google News alert to get alerted by this stuff. I think 259 people following this is good, but maybe you can get that number up because more and more people would be interested in value-added pages on Facebook instead of just, really, this is advertising. What I would encourage you to do is have every 5th post be about your store. Then that means 4 more posts about something else that people could get excited about and increase engagement on your Facebook page. The result of the increased engagement is they're going to like you, they're going to like the group, and then they're going to wind up liking the store. One thing that's popular on Facebook is if you're creating this, take a screenshot of your computer when you're about halfway through. Or if you're drawing these freehand, you could have a little mini video 5 seconds long of you actually drawing this. What you're doing is you're creating a brand, but you're letting people in on how you're making the artwork. And look, I'm not suggesting you give away any trade secrets, but what you could do is say, I made this, check out this video, and people would get excited about what that would look like. Here's an example of what I mean. One of my favorite comic book artists is Neil Adams. I actually got to meet him a couple years ago in New York City. And so what he does is he has these little videos where he's got his family who works in the studio in New York selling the goods, like selling the pictures. So I'm just going to scroll down here to the bottom. You can see here there's a Wonder Woman one that's for sale. And when I scroll down, you can actually see here is the actual unveiling of that piece. They've got a little video where he's actually got the gold foil on the piece of paper, and they are removing it and unveiling it online. And so people who are, I might buy one piece every couple of years from Neil Adams' store, but I follow the store because I'm interested in seeing the creation of the work as well. So it's a neat way to build a loyal following around your artwork specifically. Now, I know this isn't really a Redbubble shop anymore. I'm on your actual website, abysminternal.com, but I just wanted to point out the price points on some of this stuff. While the artwork is absolutely spectacular, it may be discouraging for some people. Like, for example, a neck cloth is $38, an awning tapestry is $72, hoodie is $92. You may have a segment of the population, especially with pandemic, people being unemployed, that kind of thing, that are simply, it's just too expensive. So one option would be to seek out an additional, in addition to the print suppliers that you've already got, to use something like perhaps This New, who are based out of China, and they could offer some of these products at a much lower price. Now, I'm not suggesting the quality would be the exact same, but if you're looking simply to get more sales, then you could tap into a different type of clientele. The company's called This New, and they're based out of China, and they offer a lot of metal signs, all over prints. And again, you could just integrate that with a website. You could possibly get more sales that way. Okay, so I hope you found that helpful. This is one of the most unique critiques that I've ever done because I'm not really critiquing the Redbubble shop itself. You've got great designs, and I really think it speaks to the frustration that a lot of really high-end artists have because they create these amazing goods that are completely unique and a brand unto itself, and as a result, they don't get the same level of sales or likes or follows that somebody does, funny fart designs or something, but they get sales because Redbubble is a lot of times gag gifts, unique, rude designs. So this is really nice, high quality stuff, but it can be tough trying to find a dedicated audience. I definitely think you should stick with it. You've certainly got a great looking product. So I hope you guys found that helpful. And here's another video on how you can supercharge your Redbubble journey. Thank you so much for watching.